I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action.
Airstrikes and claims of a Christian genocide. What's actually going on? Let's find out. This is Nigeria. It's the most populous nation in Africa, home to over 230 million people. For reference, the population of the whole United States is about 340 million people. Nigeria's population is 53% Muslim, 10% Roman Catholic, and 35% other Christian groups, mainly Protestants. Before we get into the genocide claims, it's important that we understand the political landscape of Nigeria. Nigeria's government has two major political parties and a few minor ones. This map shows the presidential election results from 2019 and gives us a pretty good idea of where the chips fall. The winner of the election was the All Progressives Party, or the APC for short, seen here in blue. The APC represents most of the nation's Muslims. The other party is the People's Democratic Party, or PDP. This party represents most of the nation's Christians, and is seen as the more liberal party of the two. We see them here in green. It's not an exact science, like one party is entirely Muslim and the other party is entirely Christian, but that's the basic trend that you can see on the map. Most of the Christians live in the south and most of the Muslims live in the north. The northern Muslims have controlled the nation's politics since 2015. I want to show you something here. This map is the presidential election results from 2015. It was a blue victory. Notice the change between 2015 and 2019. The middle states are the battleground states. The states of Oyo, Ondo, Nasarawa, Benue, and Adamawa all flipped parties. Coincidentally, it's these areas in the Midlands where militias of Muslim herders are attacking Christian farmers. Part 1. This is not new. The first thing to know about this conflict is that it is not a new phenomenon. Persecution of Christians in Nigeria has been happening for decades. In recent history, violence against Christians begins with the 2009 uprising of Boko Haram, an ISIS-linked terrorist group. Boko Haram doesn't exclusively attack Christians, but they do target Christians and anyone who disagrees with them. Christians disagree with them by default of not being Muslim, so they're an easy target for them. In addition to Boko Haram, there have also been clashes in the center of the country known as the farmer-herder conflict. The UN describes it as a struggle between herders and farmers in Nigeria over farmland. They connect the problem with drought and desertification in the north of the country as the country gets hotter. But sources on the ground have reported a different story. They've reported churches burned, priests kidnapped, people going missing, and Christians being deliberately targeted, and shouts of Allahu Akbar. This seems to be about more than just scarce resources and climate change like the UN might lead you to believe. CBN had a great interview on this. Here, give it a listen.
So when he talks about using military force, is he just going to bomb Boko Haram a few times? Because that is not going to solve the problem. And in fact, Boko Haram, this really in-your-face jihadist group that's always publishing horrifying videos and waves black flags everywhere, they are not the main problem these days. They make a lot of noise. But the real groups that are actually destroying Christian communities in Nigeria's Middle Belt region are Fulani militias that are conducting a slow-motion ethnic cleansing campaign, attacking Christian village after Christian village, killing whoever they find, driving people out, burning the village or occupying it. And slowly with time, we're seeing the map transform. And all these hundreds of old Christian villages are now gone and occupied by new people. That is happening because, almost certainly, there's some connivance with figures inside the Nigerian security state. And we're not going to bomb our way out of that problem. The US has to really engage with the Nigerian government, make it clear that they have to put an end to this. And if they need our help putting an end to this, we can help. But the call is coming from inside the house, and the Nigerian government has to do something about it. That has to be the thrust of US policy here if we're actually going to protect Christians in Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, this is a situation, too, where nearly half of the country is Christian, right? And so you have, and in other places, you're talking about very small numbers of Christians. This is not the case there. And you just detailed what is happening, obviously. When you look at this situation, It is so horrifying. And yet there's this media narrative too that I feel like is popping up after Trump's statement. And we're seeing people say, well, there's no evidence that Christians are being killed more than Muslims. We don't see any evidence for that. Christian Solidarity International and many other groups have been talking about this for a long time and talking about the Christian persecution aspect. How do you respond when you see the media saying, oh no, we don't know that Christians are being targeted?
I would say there's two cases here. There's Boko Haram and the jihadists who say, we target Christians. That's our goal. Our goal is to destroy Christianity in Nigeria and set up an Islamic State. That's one group. The other group is these Fulani militias who are very quiet, who don't make a lot of noise on the international scene, who are simply attacking. And in the Middle Belt region, in central Nigeria, places like Plateau State, Kaduna State, Benue State, it is almost exclusively Christian villages that are being attacked. There are other parts of Nigeria, like the Northwest, where there's a lot of insecurity, the government doesn't have a lot of presence on the ground, and yeah, there's a lot of violence between the people who live there, who are almost all Muslim to begin with. And that is a problem of insecurity and poverty and general absence of government structures. But in the Middle Belt, it's very clear what's happening. The Christian presence is being targeted. There is a program to get rid of them as a group. And so it's too simple to say, well, Muslims are being killed too. Of course they are. And it's a huge human tragedy. And everyone in Nigeria will be better off when this problem comes to an end. But it is senseless to deny that Christians are being targeted. They are.
Part 2. The Slow Genocide. The CBN interview detailed that these Fulani militias are attacking Christians in the Middle Lands, the areas that we pointed out earlier as being political battlegrounds. Could it be that a Muslim-led government is allowing these Fulani militias to ethnically cleanse these politically disputed areas? Politically, it makes sense. Why would you stop it? The nation's Christians are by and large voters for your political opposition, so if you allow them to be driven out of these politically sensitive areas, you effectively gain control of the whole government. I want to clarify that evidence doesn't exist concerning their motives for why they're allowing this to happen, but they're clearly allowing this to happen. They could end this crisis at any point that they wanted. They could send in the Nigerian military and pacify the region to protect the Christians, but they're not doing that. And they won't do that. And that's why these attacks keep continuing, is because there's no resistance from the government. Christians are likely voters for the ruling government's political opposition, so there is a clear motive to allow the ethnic cleansing to continue. Part 3. Failure of the media. The last thing that I wanted to discuss was something that the CBN interview touched on. That being that the legacy media's disgraceful reaction to all of this. Al Jazeera in particular I wanted to talk about. Here's some of their awful headlines that they've posted in recent months. Nigeria pushes back on Trump's claims over Christian killings. Is there a Christian genocide in Nigeria? Ted Cruz blames Nigeria for mass murder of Christians. What's the truth? No, Bill Maher, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Nigeria rejects claims of Christian genocide as Trump mulls military action. Why is Nicki Minaj talking about Nigeria's Christians? Maybe it's because they're, dying. This is Holocaust denial. There's no better way to put it. What all of these headlines have in common is that they all cast doubt or outright deny that the atrocities are happening. Just change the nation and the people group for a few of these headlines, just to give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. No, Bill Maher, there is no Jewish genocide in Germany. Germany rejects claims of Jewish genocide as Trump mulls military action. Germany pushes back on Trump's claim over Jewish killings. It's really not that different. In the end of the day, it's an uncomfortable truth that persecution is going to increase the closer we get to Christ's return. This problem is likely not going to get any better, in my opinion, even if the president continues to intervene and make noise. We need a miracle here. And I hope and I pray that I'm wrong. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.